Hi everybody. So welcome to UI Technologies by Sai sir. So this is a demo session 1. So in this demo session 1 of UI Technologies, today we are going to discuss the following topics. So the topics what I'm going to discuss today in this demo session 1 will be what is UI technology, what are UI technologies, what is web application. So we'll try to understand all these things one by one. So let's start with what is UI technology. I will try to understand this one by one. What is U? What is I? What is technology? Okay, right. So what is UI technology? So UI stands for user interface. So UI stands for user interface. So what is user? So user means any person who is interacting with computer. So user means any person who is interacting with computer is known as user. Okay, right. So what is interface? Interface means mediator. Interface means mediator. So mediator means middle person. Okay, so interface means middle person. So what is this middle person? So middle person between user and computer applications. Okay, so here what does it mean? Interface means mediator. So mediator means it is a middle person between user and computer application. Between user and computer applications. Okay, right. So in computers we have different applications. Okay, so in computer we have different applications. Okay, so I'll give you some examples. So we have application like Notepad, we have browser, we have VLC media player, so we have something like Winamp, we have Word application, we have PowerPoint application, etc. So these are some different computer applications which are available in computer, and all these computer applications are used by end user of a computer. Okay, so finally all computer applications are used by end user of a computer. Okay, so who is this end user? End user means any person who is interacting with computer is known as end user. Okay, now apart from all these applications we also have some special applications. So technically these special applications are called as websites. Okay, so websites. So websites are called as web applications. So we have different websites like www.google.com, www.yahoo.com. Okay, so user interface technologies, okay, are those technologies, okay, which are used as a mediator between end user and computer web applications. Okay, so user interface technologies are those technologies which are used as a mediator between user and computer web applications. Okay, right. So what is this technology? So let us try to understand what is technology. So here it's very simple. technology means subjects. So what is this technology? So technology means subject. Okay. So what is that subject which helps us to develop our web applications? We'll try to understand now. So we have different technologies, like we have HTML, we have CSS, we have JavaScript, so we have Bootstrap, so we have JQuery, etc. So these are some technologies which are called as UI technologies. Okay, so UI technologies. So all these technologies, okay, so all these above technologies are called UI technologies. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, etc. So all these technologies helps us to develop user interface for our computer web applications. So technically, if you come across what is this web page or website, okay, so we'll try to understand now technically what is website. Okay, so website is nothing but collection of web pages. Okay, so website is nothing but collection of web pages, right? And next, these collection of web pages, there are many web pages. It is not a single page. In a single website we have many web pages. Okay, right. And now we'll try to understand what is this web page. Okay, so we'll try to understand what is this web page. Okay, right. So web page is nothing but collection of information or data. Okay, so web page is nothing but collection of or information or data in the form of text, image, audio, video, graphics, etc. Okay, right. So I'll give you one small note point here. So UI technologies. Okay, so UI technologies helps us to develop websites. Okay, so websites are technically known as web applications. They are technically known as web application. Okay, right. Next, website. So website is nothing but collection of web pages. Okay, right. And what is web page? So web page is nothing but collection of data or information in the form of text, image, audio, video, graphics, animations, etc. So we also have animations, etc. So all these things makes up a website. Okay, so once again I'm going to repeat this note point. UI technologies helps us to develop websites. So websites are nothing but web application. And what is website? So website is nothing but collection of web pages. Okay, and what is web page? So web page is nothing but collection of data or information in the form of text, image, audio, video, graphics, animations, etc. So we'll take a small example of website. Okay, so website is technically known as web application. It is technically known as web application. So let us take a small example of website. Okay, we'll take something like Google News. And in this Google News, we should have text, image, audio, video, graphics, animation, etc. Okay, so let's open the browser. Okay, so I'm using the Google Chrome browser. So in the Google Chrome browser, I'll type something like Google News. So news.google.co.in. So just click on the first link. Right. So here we have information or data in the form of text. We also have some images here. Okay. Right. So we also have some graphics. We'll also have some animations, audio, video, etc. Okay. So for example, I'll just click on something like business news on the left side. Right. So we got some business news. So this is what makes up a website. So collection of data in the form of text, images, audio, video, graphics, animation, etc. So this is called as a web page, and collection of all these web pages makes up a website. And to develop a website, we require a UI technology. Okay, so to develop a website, we require a UI technology. And what are those commonly used UI technologies to develop a website? Okay, so the commonly used UI technologies are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and JQuery. So these are some latest or commonly used UI technologies. Okay, to develop any web page. So collection of web pages makes up a website, and website is nothing but a web application. So technically we have to call that as a web application. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, etc. So all these things makes up a complete web page. Okay, right. So next, technically, okay, UI technologies are used to develop front end for dynamic web applications. Okay, right. So this is what we call it as dynamic web application. So we'll try to understand now here front end. So front end means what user sees in web page. So what the user is seeing in the web page is called as front end. For example, in this Google News, what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing here something like business. In business, I'm seeing latest news, economy news, share market news, jobs, okay, personal finance, etc. So what user is seeing in a website, so that is what we call it as front end. So if you want to develop this front end, okay, for your web applications, then we have to go for UI technologies. Okay, right. Now let us try to understand what is this technically. Okay, web application. Okay, so web application is nothing but our website, right? And what is this dynamic? Okay, so what is this dynamic? We'll try to understand that now. Okay, if you want to develop a dynamic web application, what is that? Okay, so we'll try to understand this dynamic web application. So dynamic web application is one such application in which data or information changes time to time, location to location, user to user. Okay, so data or information in web page changes with respect to three things. One, time to time. Two, location to location. And three, user to user. Okay, so what is this dynamic web application? So dynamic web application means data or information in a web page changes with respect to three things. 1, time to time; 2, location to location; and 3, user to user. So such type of application is called as dynamic web application. Okay, so for example, time to time. So what will be changing from time to time? For example, weather. So weather report will be changing from time to time, or simply instead of weather report, you can also take it as something like news. So news will be changing from time to time. Okay, so location to location, what will be changing? So from location to location, weather report will be changing. In Hyderabad, it is 41 degrees. In Jammu and Kashmir, it will be 15 degrees. Whereas in Switzerland, it will be 0 degrees. So weather report changes from location to location. And finally, user to user, what will be changing? Data or information. Gmail, Facebook, etc. So I log in with my account. So I'll be getting my emails, my Facebook post, shares, comments, etc. You log in with your account. You will be getting your emails, your post, your shares, etc. So any web application or a website in which data or information changes with respect to three things. One, time to time; location to location; user to user. So such type of application is called as dynamic web application or dynamic websites. Okay, right. So basically, web applications are of two types. Okay, so web applications means simply websites. One, static web applications. Two, dynamic web applications. So what is static web application? Okay, so static web application means data or information is common for all users. Okay, for all users with respect to time or location or login. Okay, so if data or information is common for all users with respect to time, location, or login, so such website is called as static websites. Example, information websites. So information websites means something like Wikipedia. So Wikipedia, data or information will be common for all the users with respect to time, with respect to location, and with respect to login. Okay, and next something like college website. So in college websites, all students will have the common information with respect to time, location, or login. Okay, or something like hospital websites. So here these websites are called as static websites. So data or information will be common for all the users with respect to time, location, and login of the user. Okay, right. So dynamic web applications we have seen just now. Okay, so dynamic web applications means data or information will be changing from time to time, location to location, and user to users. So this is called as dynamic web applications. Okay, so time to time, location to location, and user to user. So such type of websites are called as dynamic web applications. So the best examples for dynamic web applications are, okay, so we already know Google News, CricBus. So in CricBus, whenever a cricket match is getting played, so data will be changing from time to time. Okay, next we also have Yahoo Weather. So Yahoo weather application. And coming to email, we have Gmail application, we have Facebook application, we have Twitter application. So here information will be changing with respect to user login. So in computers, we develop two types of web application: static web application and dynamic web application. So nowadays, dynamic web applications are very much popular when compared to static web applications. Okay, right. So now let us try to understand now what are the standard UI technologies. Okay, so the standard UI technologies are: one, HTML. Okay, so what is this HTML? So HTML is mainly used for presentation of data. So presentation of data in web page. Okay, so the main use of HTML is presentation of data in a web page. Example, for example, headings, underlines, paragraphs, next something like tables, next list, forms, etc. So this is the main use of HTML, presentation of data or information in a web page. And this is done with headings, underlines, paragraphs, tables, list, forms, bold, italic, etc. So this is what is HTML as standard UI technology. 2, CSS. Okay, so what is this CSS? So CSS makes our web page stylish. Okay, so stylish of web page. Okay, so stylish of web page means more colors, more alignments. So alignments means left, right, center. Okay, we can also give borders. Okay, and finally it will make our web page interactive. So it will make our web page interactive. Okay, now okay, let us call this as attractive. So if you want to develop an attractive web page, then we have to compulsory go for CSS. So it is used to make our web page stylish. Okay, right. So we have to understand one important point here. Note. So HTML plus CSS. Using these two, we can develop static web page. We can develop only static web page. Okay, so static web page means data or information in a web page is common for all the users. So using HTML and CSS, we can develop a static web page only. Right. Next, third one. So if you want to develop a dynamic web page, then we have to go for JavaScript. So what is the use of JavaScript? So JavaScript means programming in web page. Okay, so if you want to have programming in web page, then we have to go for JavaScript. Example, so we can go for variables, we can go for data types, we can go for operators, we can go for functions, etc. So if you want to have programming capability, okay, if you want to have programming capability, it's very simple. So what you have to do if you want to have a programming capability, okay, so you have to simply, okay, use JavaScript in a web page. We have to use a JavaScript. Okay, so HTML is mainly used for presentation of data. Next, CSS is used to make our web page more stylish, and JavaScript provides programming capability. Right. So now coming to JavaScript. Okay. So one important note point here. So HTML and CSS, we can develop a static web page. So if we want to develop a dynamic web page, then we have to go for HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. Okay, right? So one small note point here, HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. So using these three, we can develop a dynamic web page. Right. So finally, okay, using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, okay, so we can develop a dynamic web page. So we can develop a dynamic web page. Okay, so dynamic web page is a page, okay. So dynamic web page is a page where data or information will be changing from time to time, location to location, user to user. So HTML, CSS plus JavaScript makes up dynamic web page. Okay, so these are some standard UI technologies. So what is this standard UI technologies? So standard UI technologies means, okay, so one important point here, HTML, CSS plus JavaScript are standard UI technologies. So standard UI technology means compulsory used for web page development. So we have to compulsory use HTML, CSS, JavaScript to develop a web page. There is no other alternative technology. For example, if you want to write a program for prime number, you can write a program for prime number in C language, C++, Java, .NET. But if you want to develop a web page, compulsory we have to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only. There is no other technology. Okay, right. Next, coming to some advanced UI technologies. So advanced UI technologies means we have Bootstrap, we have jQuery. Okay, so Bootstrap is advanced version of CSS and jQuery is advanced versions of JavaScript. Like we have core Java and advanced Java, we have core Python and advanced Python. In the same way, Bootstrap is advanced version of CSS and jQuery is advanced version of JavaScript. So similarly, we also have other UI technologies like we have AngularJS, React.js, Angular 9, Dart.js, Vue.js, etc. So these are some other UI technologies using which we can develop a dynamic web application. Okay, so compulsory, if you want to develop a web page, we have to use these three standard UI technologies. 1. HTML, 2. JavaScript, 3. It's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, right? So finally, HTML, CSS plus JavaScript is used to develop a dynamic web application or websites. Okay, so dynamic web application or website. So these three things makes up a web page or a web application development. Okay, right. So I'll give you one final note point here. It goes like this. So UI technologies. So using UI technologies, so we can develop website. So what is website? So website is nothing but collection of web pages. And what is web page? So web page means text, image, audio, video, graphics, animations, etc. Okay, and finally, to develop a web page, so we use UI technologies, and those UI technologies are HTML, we have CSS, we have JavaScript, plus other advanced UI technologies. So all these things makes up to develop a web page. So collection of web pages makes up a website, and website is nothing but your web application. So we call it as website, but technically it is a web application. So technically it is a web application, right guys? So this is what is all about today's demo session, guys. Okay, so we understood what is UI technology, what are UI technologies, and what is web application. Okay, right. So one small information regarding this for all of you. Right. So coming to UI technologies, okay. So the total number of sessions are, okay. So it will take around 35 to 40 sessions. Okay, guys. And so daily you will have 1 hour of session. So daily you'll have 1 hour of session, and coming to material. Okay, so coming to the material, guys. So material means soft copy. So soft copy of notes is provided for all the students who register for this course. Okay, and coming to videos. Okay, so each session video is recorded, and this is also provided to the students. Okay, so coming to materials plus videos. Okay, so coming to material plus videos, so we are going to share this with Google Drive account. So you should have a Google Drive access. So this will be provided to the students through Google Drive access. So from my email ID. Okay, so from shrikant.sai.online@gmail.com. So daily each recorded, each video, each session will be recorded as a video, and material plus video, soft copy plus video, both will be provided to the students Google Drive access from shrikant.sai.online@gmail.com. So all the students who are going to register for these sessions, you will have complete access of all these, okay, material plus videos in your Google Drive access, so that you can use this for your future references. Right, so that's all what for today's session, guys. So thank you for listening to this session. Have a nice day, all of you.